Folks, what's going on? We're back a week later for Blackhawk Hockey. I'm here with Jimmy O'Malley and Sean Fitzgerald. I am still Andy Campbell. Hope you're all doing well despite the Blackhawks game last night. They just can't get it done in St. Paul, Minnesota. The Blackhawks took a 3-0 lead halfway through the game. Minnesota rallied back to tie the game, and the Blackhawks, despite a 4-on-3 power play opportunity in overtime, lost the game in a shootout. Very disappointing. 2 nights prior, took a 1-1 game into the third period, lost to the Florida Panthers 3-1. Fellas,
3-1. I thought it was more than 3-1.
5-1. Ended up 5-1.
Yeah.
I turned it off at 3-1 when I knew it ended up 5. Yeah, empty netter and then another goal after that, which wasn't very much fun. But either way, a 1-1 game going into the third period. Guys, well, first of all, how are you? Sorry, I got all revved up. Jimmy, how are you?
I'm doing my best after last night. I think I said that was my least favorite Blackhawk game of the year.
Sucked. Sean, how are you feeling?
Yeah, twice to Minnesota, they've done that. They did it at home against Minnesota.
Frustrating.
I would say the pregame Hockey Fights Cancer, Foligno versus Foligno thing was cool.
The mom's trip is fun. They're having a good time. Foligno's aunt got in there and got them all revved up. I mean, it was great. Yeah. Fun. Yeah. And that's awesome. And I'm great for the players, great for the moms. I'm sure having them on the road is just an absolute kick, which is awesome. And I'm certainly not downplaying that. But Jimmy, they're playing pretty well, all things considered. They're just not finishing these hockey games. Why?
I think teams adjust to them super well. And when you have a team just filled with very young players, especially young defensemen, adjusting on the fly or even between periods is just extremely tough. They come in with a game plan and they execute it pretty well, and it could last them through about half the game. But then you get to the second half of the second period and the third period, and your opponent's got you figured out. You have to change things up as a player. And, obviously they just haven't adjusted. I don't know how much of it is on coaching. I think this coaching staff understands that it has a very young team that is teaching more than it is trying to win, although obviously you're trying to win every night. But I think there's just a feeling of the team's young. They're not adjusting on the fly. I don't know how much coaching has to do with that, but you just feel like teams figure out their first move and then they don't really have a good counter move.
Yeah. No, I agree with all that. And Sean, I mean, what do you think? It's not the goaltending. It's not, the lack of effort. It's not coming storming out of the gate. Do you agree that just a young team and just the bumps in the road that they're just going to have to deal with?
Yeah, I think it was last night. I think it was a young team, a combination of bad luck. If Grizzly doesn't miss kicking the puck in, they don't get the breakaway that leads to the first goal. And I think the first goal it shifted the momentum in that game. The Hawks were dominating that game. And then they got the first goal from their fourth line, and the Wild got into it, and they got into it. And then the Connor Bedard goal that wasn't a goal, that was a goal, that was ruled not a goal.
Yeah.
I think also it's really letting this team down right now and not helping them finish games. Special teams. Their power play.
Power play is awful.
It's horrible. They're
awful.
They haven't scored a power play goal in their last 8 games. They're 0 for 20. Matt Boldy was in the box, or Boldy, whatever. Matt something, Oldie, was in the box 4 times last night. 4 times. And they couldn't capitalize once. They changed it up. I know they changed up the lines, but that's killing them because their penalty kill is so good.
It's one of the best in the league.
Yeah. And their power play is just letting them down.
What are they? 0 for their last 21? Is that right? Yeah. Did I see that stat correctly?
Yeah, they haven't had one in 8 games.
That's really bad. Is it a personnel thing, or is it just too easy to key on Bedard right now? Jimmy, what do you think?
I think you hit it on the head. It's just easy to key on Bedard in the first power play unit. That second power play unit has no threat whatsoever, which is why we're seeing the first power play unit out there for a minute and 30 seconds at times, because that second power play unit just does not have the juice that really intimidates teams. And teams know that Bedard is going to quarterback the power play. Everyone is searching to give him the puck in the offensive zone and to have him bring it into the offensive zone. And teams have just figured that out.
Yeah.
And for Blackhawks, it's like, well, we could stop doing that, but who else are we going to do that with?
And it blows my mind because before Bedard came back, they were scoring on the power play.
Yeah.
They had a good run on the power play. That's how they won those 3 games in a row before they dropped 4 in a row. They had a good, like Bertuzzi, when he had the hat trick, I think one of his goals was on the power play. And now they can't find the right combination.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's frustrating. It is too bad. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they do at this point. I mean, I do still like Levshinov on PP1. They took him off last night. I don't know if Grzelcyk is the answer. I don't think he's not getting shots through.
If
I don't know.
Grzelcyk's the answer, what's the question?
I mean, I don't know if you could move Bedard low, put him in a different position, and then have other guys up top. There's some, the Twitter world wants to see Wyatt Kaiser get a shot, at quarterbacking it up top. I'm not against that for now. Long term, that's not the answer. Certainly not against that for now, though. I mean, try anything. But right is just not clicking. And power plays are funny. It's almost like the more you practice it, the worse off you are. Because you just get, you got one puck out there and you got a lot of guys who want to handle the puck. Burakovsky has not been good lately. He has not played very well. He's been a drag. This is why Seattle was probably really quick to say, all right, pack your bags. This is probably what they were seeing last year. But he hasn't been good all month, which is too bad. And I don't think there's blame to cast for these losses. I think a lot of it is, but if you're up 3-0 halfway through a hockey game, you got to win that game.
Yep.
You have to win the game. You have to close it out. Jimmy, you were saying that earlier before we got started that you thought some of our younger defensemen might be young physically and are just getting pushed around in front of the net. I mean, those last 2 goals that Minnesota got when it was 3-1 to make it 3-2 and 3-3, those are just greasy goals. I mean, those are just put the pucks on net and bang for rebounds, and the Blackhawks weren't clearing out in front. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, both of those goals were scored by guys right in front with Wyatt Kaiser and I think Levshinov in one of them. Levshinov had on the second goal, Levshinov had his guy on the right side. Kaiser tried to, grab up on the guy on the left, and he just couldn't. And then the second one, Kaiser kind of got one guy, but then he left another guy open who then scored the tying goal. So we're just seeing a young defensive unit just kind of get pushed around. I think I like Kaiser, but he is undersized, and teams are taking advantage of that. He's not fit. He doesn't have a physical presence in front of the net, and we're seeing that. Levshinov is struggling to find out that presence. I think it's just because he's young. He doesn't want to get a penalty because he's been penalized so much this year.
Holding and Levshinov are synonymous.
Yeah.
Say that again?
So
Holding and Levshinov are synonymous.
Yeah.
I think his last 4 penalties have all been holding penalties.
Yeah.
And I think that's getting to
you get beat, you do that stuff. Again, a young defense. I mean, I would actually, I thought the Kaiser Levshinov pairing had been working for a while. The last few games, it hasn't. It just hasn't in the third period in particular. Now, one thing would be to throw all the blame at Levshinov, which Blackhawk fans are very quick to do, or just mix up his name. What's that? Can't even spell his name.
No,
but I don't know. I do think it's the way that Connor Murphy's playing, and he's playing a really good game. I don't see any reason why you couldn't pair him with someone like Kaiser and put Levshinov with Vlasic, for example, and maybe the 2 big bodies can figure it out together.
And then Crevier would go with who?
Grzelcyk.
Grizz.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't love that either.
No.
But, and the other thing too is, we've said before and wrote an article on it the other day. They're a defenseman short.
Yep.
On this roster, and I think it's becoming more and more evident, particularly on the left side, that it cannot be Kaiser and Vlasic running this thing on the left side in the future. And we don't know yet if Korchinski is that guy. Is it time to go shopping? Is it time to look at it in the draft? I know we've talked about this a little bit on pods before. Sean, you were big on the draft, the idea of the draft. And what are some of those names, if that's the route that they take?
So it was, and shout out to one of your Twitter. You made a comment. You posted your article on Twitter the other day, and Albert Smits is the name.
Yeah,
He's he's a left-handed puck-moving defenseman. He is young, and he's got speed. He can move the puck and he's a left-handed shot. So
he's about to play some big boy hockey right now. I mean, he's going to be on their Olympic team.
Yeah. So that'll be a good showcase for him. Yeah. Depending on where the Hawks pick, he might be a candidate, or see, it's twofold, I think, because the Hawks have that need, the left-handed puck-moving defenseman, but they also need another offensive player. I think there's still one forward offensive top-tier guy short. Regardless of what Frondell and Kanserov and all those guys come through. I think they're one forward short. So maybe Smits they move back into the first round to get him. I don't think they take him with their first pick, but I think they're definitely going to be very aggressive in addressing this position via the draft. Because if you trade for somebody, like as Jimmy pointed out on our last pod, it's a seller's market right now. So like you're going to have to overpay for a left-handed shot. And I know if you haven't read Andy's article, I highly recommend it. He threw out some Ottawa Senators. Sanderson, I believe, was one of them, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name off the top of my head, as possible trade targets if they're available, because Ottawa is an absolute disaster right now. That might be the route you go, but I still think Davison is hesitant to kind of cash in some of his chips right now.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Jimmy, what do you think? Do you still think another layer of another offensive player and another defenseman, they are going to have to look outside at some point, despite how many prospects are coming? I know we talked a little bit about Korchinski. Sean just ducked out for a minute. He'll be right back. We talked a little bit about Korchinski maybe being part of their future. Now it's kind of an if instead of a when. What's your stance?
Kind of what I mentioned last week. I still believe in Kevin Korchinski. Like, he had 2 assists last night in a loss against Milwaukee. He's going to blow past his point total from last year. He's very much a puck-moving left-side defenseman. But the problem is there's still worry about the rest of his game. You mentioned last week he does struggle with his angles, and he's 6'1", but he's still under 200 pounds. He did get bigger in the offseason, but I think the big thing is
lanky.
He's lanky. You kind of wanted him to get over 200 pounds in the offseason. He didn't. I'd like to think he's going to go into this offseason going, okay, I need to get a little bit more big. But yeah, I still believe in him, but I very much believe that the Blackhawks should add a left-handed defenseman in the draft. We brought up unrestricted free agency, but I'm going to list off like the top 5 unrestricted left-handed free agents coming up. And feel free to tell me if any of these guys strike your fancy. Ben Sherratt, Jamie Alexiak, Nick Leddy,
Bring him back.
Carson Soucy, Mario Ferraro, Ian Cole, Brett Kulak. Are you jumping for joy at any of those names?
0.
No.
None. I'd rather bring Grzelcyk. And to bring it back to the draft, I disagree with Sean. I think the Blackhawks right now are slotted to pick 6th. I would absolutely use that pick on a guy like Albert Smith or Carson Karels. I think those guys are
definitely.
I think those guys could very legitimately be the answer. I mean, let me just read off the size of both of these gentlemen. Albert Smith, 6'3", 205 pounds. Carson Karels, 6'2", 194. Both
so
these
they're men. Okay, I got it.
Both these guys are bigger than Korchinski is, both in height and weight right now, as 17 and 18-year-olds.
So I like that. Yeah.
So if lottery sits right where it is, Blackhawks end in the 6th spot, I'm taking Smith or Karels, 100%.
Yeah, that's assuming that Tynan Lawrence is gone by then, which a lot of people have associated him with the Hawks.
Yeah, I like Lawrence. Yeah. I also really like what's his name, Belchetz. A lot of people like him out of Windsor, but the difference between getting a defenseman at 6 and the defenseman at the Florida Panthers spot which is 16.
Oh, it's huge. Big difference.
Oh,
huge
yeah.
Difference. That's the difference between Smith and Karels or Vinueve and Malte Gustafsson. And I like Gustafsson a lot.
I'm worried. Yeah. Go ahead.
But no one touches Smith. I think Smiths and Carrolls are fighting neck and neck for the number one left-handed defenseman slot in this draft, and the Blackhawks run out of this draft with one of them, plus another solid forward at the Florida pick. Plus, let's be honest, they're going to trade back into the late first round, which is probably going to be another forward. That's going to feel like highway robbery. Walking out of this with Smiths and it's two other very promising forwards at the Florida pick, which looks about, I would say that's probably going to range between 14 and 18, and probably somewhere in the late first round pick. I mean, first round after moving up. That's a great draft. I disagree with a little bit with you, Sean. You said maybe address defense later. I'm saying no, do it right away. Get Smiths or Carrolls. They're game-changing left-handed defensemen. I think they are the answer. Even if we have to wait on them, they are the answers that Andy is asking.
Well, yeah, but I guess the one thing I'm worried about with Smiths is that he has a dynamite Olympics and climbs out of reach. Who knows? I mean, I'd rather him do really well.
Yeah, but then there's still Carrolls, and I think Smith's a surprise. Carrolls is such a good consolation prize, in my opinion.
Got it. I like it a lot. I mean, what about through trade? Would you just say, let's see if Korchinski's a guy, let him marinate another, try to trade for another guy? I mean, the Blackhawks will also this spring, barring some sort of huge run and miracle finish and they're going for the playoffs, a lot of their forward prospects, they're going to find out a lot about them when they come in for auditions. When they sign them. Sasha B, I'll butcher the name. Eric gave me the correct pronunciation.
Boisvert.
Bravo.
So Boisvert, yeah. Kanserov, Frondell, maybe Vanacker, maybe Pridham. There's one more that I'm missing that might sign that I just lost.
AJ Spellacy will sign.
AJ Spellacy, I mean, he might get a cup of coffee with the big club, even though he'll be Rockford bound next year. But again, I mean, they're going to be like, okay, can we roll with these forwards enough where we are going to prioritize that defenseman in the draft? And I kind of hope that they do. But even if they're at 6, Jimmy, if they're somewhere between 9 and 6 and they're worried that one of those two guys is going to get away, use your other draft picks and go get him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if Smiths is climbing, go get him. Find a way to go get him.
Yeah, I think this team could trade into the top 5 if they really needed to. Because you can look at the teams right above them, too. I am looking at Winnipeg, Calgary, and New York, the teams right above them. I think these are teams that really want to stack up their prospect capital, because they really don't, especially Winnipeg. Winnipeg has nothing. Like, even if Winnipeg were to take Smiths, which I am looking at a mock draft, they have him taking Veerhoff at 4. Chase Reed goes to New York at 5. These are both right-handed defensemen.
Yeah, I was going to say Veerhoff will be off the board.
Yeah, I think you get past top 3. I think the top 3 picks are going to be in some order. It's going to be McKenna, Stenberg, and Veerhoff. I know a lot of people like Lawrence, but I don't think Veerhoff gets past 3. I think it's kind of like a Levshunov situation where a team is not going to let someone like that pass.
Got it.
I think if you're sitting here and you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3 are those 3 guys, and the Blackhawks are sitting 6 or 6, 7, 8. I think you could look at teams at 4 or 5 and be like, I could trade up with you. I could package that Florida pick. I could move up 2 spots. I could get to 5 if I'm at 7. I could get to 5. Let's say Lawrence goes 3. You could be like, all right, I need Smiths. I'm moving up to 5. From 7, I'm offering you 6 and I don't know, 2 second-round picks, or if I need to, I'm offering you 6 and the Florida pick. And I don't think that'd be a bad trade at all.
No, I don't think that'd be bad at all.
Because I you kind of brought that up, mentioning all those forward prospects. Pretty soon, the Blackhawks are going to run out of room for these guys.
They're not going to have room for them.
Yeah, so they're going to have
to make some really hard decisions.
Yeah,
like 16. I'm looking at it now. They have the Blackhawks taking center Oliver Suvanto. Like, okay, or Elton Hermanson. It's like, I look at these guys. I know these guys pretty decently in terms of scouting reports. They don't strike me as, I don't look at them and go like, oh, you're going to replace guy like Oliver Moore or Merrick Van Acker or Roman Kanserov or Frondell. I look at these guys. I'm like, maybe middle 6 guys, which I'm trading. If the difference in
right. Yeah.
And if the difference between getting Smiths and getting Carrolls is just giving up a prospect with middle 6 upside, I'm doing it right away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't I mean, I do think Smits and Carrolls will be there at 6. If the Hawks are at 6, I do think both those guys will probably be there. I mean, barring Smits going off at the Olympics.
Yeah, and Chase Reed is the other right-handed defenseman. He's having a great season. I think
he's awesome. I think he's going to go top 5. Yeah. I mean, but again, the other thing to think about too is that all signs right now are pointing towards Jason Dickinson being traded. Mm-hmm. All signs are pointing towards the real possibility of Connor Murphy being traded. And if not being traded, this being his last year in Chicago. I think Ben Pope released an article about Connor Murphy today saying, basically hinting that this is it. His 9-year tenure. 9 years. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's played more games, or he's tied with Marian Hossa, if not surpassed him already for most games in Chicago.
So if you move those guys before the trade deadline, you are going to get something back, and you are going to potentially get prospects or picks that you can utilize to move up in the draft. Jimmy, I think you said it. I can't remember if it was last week's pod or the week before. You said you fully expect Kyle Davidson to have 3 first-round picks again this year. That seems to be his MO. But again, with all these forward prospects, at some point they're going to have to make some really hard decisions. And that should be interesting. Now, the Olympic break is here. People were bent out of shape, not knowing exactly why Nick Lardis was sent back to Rockford. Not knowing why Colton Dach was sent back to Rockford. Nick Lardis sent back to get some seasoning during the Olympic break, and then the expectation is that he might be called back up pretty quickly. Is that what you're vibing, Sean?
Yeah, that's what I'm vibing. And Lardis also was it was just a fit. Like, he's not a bottom 6 forward, and they brought Tavo was back.
Yeah.
Nazar's back. The only reason Lardis was even recalled is because of injuries. They wanted him to marinate the entire year down there. So, yeah, I think Lardis getting top line minutes, because that's what he is. He's a top 6 winger. He can go down there and dominate. There's still some rough edges to his game that he's got to smooth out. And I think it's perfect for him, because then he could play through the Olympic break. He can come back after the break and hopefully excel, because like you just said, Andy, one of the forwards, Dickinson, will probably be gone after the break, because my assumption is, and I was listening to either 32 Thoughts or it was The Sheet the other night. They talked to a general manager who said they don't want to trade for guys like lower tier guys on the trade market that they know they're just going to pay him $100,000 to lay on a beach. They'll just trade for him after the Olympic break.
Yeah.
So you figure Dickinson, let's not forget Sam Lafferty is still on this team. Sam Lafferty's probably traded. So that's 2 forward spots you're going to have available.
Given away. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. He's going to
considerations. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're going to have 2 forward spots. So you figure Lardis and Dach will be back after the Olympics, and that's fine. That's perfect.
Yeah.
It works out well.
Considering what the free agent market is going to be this summer and what it will be for the foreseeable future with the salary caps going up and things like that, how there won't be very many free agents of considerable acclaim that will be out there trying to switch teams. The trade market, the return on very basic, I guess, players or I get the value you can get by trading players that maybe a year ago would not be as marketable is pretty high in the Dickinson and Murphy realm. I know we've talked about that a little bit. I mean, Dickinson, someone's going to take him. And they, I think Frank Saravelli, I don't know. I'm always butchering that one too.
Yeah, stop stealing my bit.
Sorry, dude. I know that's your thing.
Yeah.
But a second-round pick for Dickinson would be great. If you can get a second-round pick for a guy like Connor Murphy, that'd be great. You do those things. I also wonder, well, first of all, Colton Dach needs Rockford right now. He does. I mean, I don't think there's who Landon Slaggert is by now.
Yes, bottom 6 forward.
Exactly. He's doing the same stuff that Colton Dach could be doing. And Colton Dach, you should send him down to be like, okay, get a little bit of a scoring touch and come up, and then you can come back and maybe you could be 3rd, 4th line with a little bit more of a scoring touch. Because he did seem like he was getting a little overwhelmed. I mean, he'll throw his weight around a little bit, but out of position a lot, on the ice when the Hawks are getting scored on a lot.
He can't play the penalty kill, right? Dach doesn't play on the penalty kill. Slaggert does.
Yes.
So that's another versatility.
Yeah, and just go get some marinating.
Yeah.
I don't know if Burke. Sorry, go ahead.
The problem with that, though, is this is Doc's last year of his contract. I don't know what they're planning on doing when it comes to him being an RFA.
They might move
Slags
on.
has another year. Yeah, Slags has another year of control, I believe. So I don't know. Do you consider Doc as a trade piece as well? Like, do you market him as a young physical player? It's like, hey, he's top 10 in the league in hits. Like, is this something that teams want? And like I mentioned earlier, this team is overflowing with forward prospects. Doc is going to get pushed out.
Yeah, he could be.
Yeah,
I think he could be a trade candidate as well.
He could definitely be a trade candidate. I think that's a really good point, Jimmy. And especially too, you got AJ Spellacy coming up through the ranks, who you might want to be that guy eventually. So that's one who can get squeezed out. But it'd be interesting with all these guys that are signing too. I mean, they've got a tough decision to make with Mikheyev. I do hope they re-sign him for something. I don't think he will be that expensive, and you need to spend a little bit of money to hit the cap floor. He can play in a bunch of different situations. You might still need Burakovsky's. Jeez, I'm talking.
I think you need
Andre Burakovsky's cap hit next year
to reach the floor.
You might still need that, unfortunately, because unless he really picks it up, you might want to shop him, to let some of the kids play. But then again, we don't know what Connor Bedard's extension is going to be like. That's coming up. That's going to be big. Yeah, I don't know. Some really, really hard decisions coming up for the Blackhawks. But they only have on the current roster right now, they only have 5 forwards that are making 7 digits. And in the salary cap world, that's really, really low. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, currently making. Oh yeah, Nazar his contract doesn't kick in until next year. So
yeah. Plus, you have Bedard's upcoming extension, which is kind of
that's going to be a monster.
And then you're going to lose Connor Murphy's 4.4 off the books. You're going to lose Shea Weber's 7.86, but you have Ryan Ellis's 6.25. Yeah. You'll lose Sam Lafferty's $2 million. Dickinson's 4.25. Is Foligno going to retire? Is he going to come back? So you're going to lose a good chunk of change, even with a Bedard extension. Let's say it's $13 million a year. You're still below the floor. You still have to pay at least one other guy, somebody of some significant value, whether that's Mikheyev, whether that's taking on some overpriced veteran for somebody who's trying to get under the cap in the future. Although I don't think they would do that because they take up a roster spot. And I think they really want to go with as many kids as possible next year.
Yeah. Tough decisions.
Do you think, and I was just thinking about this earlier, do you think the Blackhawks try to leverage their cap space to take on another Ryan Ellis-like contract and just see if they can run that for another year? I don't know how many other LTIR contracts are out there.
I don't know. Or you trade for a proven player. I don't know. So this is a good Brad, thank you so much for your question tonight.
Yeah, awesome.
Brad just wrote in, we definitely need a top 4 D-man for next year. We have plenty of dollars, have to clear the cap floor. No more old, washed up guys. Time to trade for a good one. It'll be a good measuring stick. I tend to agree with you, Brad. If you're going to do that, look towards Ottawa right now. I think that could be a good trade partner. Thomas Chabot would be awesome. I don't think you need – Levshinov is your number 1 defenseman of the future. You don't necessarily need your next left-handed defenseman to be a number 1. He has to be a top 4, but he doesn't have to be a number 1. Thomas Chabot could be a great one for that. He's an $8 million cap hit. He's 28 years old. Ottawa has had a horrible season. In the public eye, in the standings, they're just kind of a mess right now. They don't have a first-round pick that they forfeited from a botched 2021 trade with the Vegas Golden Knights. You've got draft picks you could try to give to Ottawa, and you can make the phone calls about Jake Sanderson and about Thomas Chabot. Those two could be good fits. Sanderson, I'm sure Ottawa will say, get out of here. He's part of the future no matter what. He's 23 years old. Why would you trade Jake Sanderson? That would cost a bundle.
And they love him there.
I don't know why you would do it unless the Hawks gave them a first-round pick this year, a first-round pick next year, and then a key prospect. That would be what they would have to do. I don't know if that's worth it. He's pretty damn good, though. At any rate, Shabbat would at least cost a first-round plus, but not that much. But I agree. I am very worried a top 4 D-man is something that is going to elude them should Kevin Korchinski not work out. So, Brad, appreciate you, man.
Here's a name that I know I'm going to get laughed at for throwing out.
Do it. We'll laugh with you, not at you.
So the New Jersey Devils are desperate to move one of their defensemen, and Dougie Hamilton they've like scratched him because they want him to waive his no move. They want him out of town. Like they don't want him there anymore, and he won't move his no trade clause. So with Dougie, I know he's not left-handed, he's a right-handed shot defenseman, but if you're going to take on some money with some term, he's a top 4 defenseman when he's in the right situation. Would he be something to consider? Because New Jersey's not going to want much back. They want him off the books. Fitzy over in New Jersey's not representing the name well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think next year, when you picture next year, you picture the right side being Levshinov, Rinzel, and Crevier. And that's pretty good on the right.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless Dougie can play the left with a right-handed shot for a couple years. I mean, I understand the veteran presence, but I don't know. I mean, I think in his aging years, he might end up being more of a bottom pairing D on a contender. I don't know. New Jersey really, boy, when they alienated their entire team trying to get the third Hughes brother on their roster, boy, did they sink.
Yeah.
They just traded Palat, all sorts of stuff going on. Former Hawks in the news about to be traded. Jimmy, you mentioned before we got on the show, Artemi Panarin is about to get moved. Do we know what's going on there?
Yeah, apparently he's just being scratched indefinitely, just due to asset management. Like the Rangers have come out and basically said, we are putting him off the ice through the rest of the break. I mean, through the rest of the games until the break. And to me, that just signifies that they're going to try to make a move with Panarin before the roster freeze on the 4th. I think they really want to see if they can get something for him. Mm-hmm. And I mean, looking at him, like he's still an insane offensive talent. I'm thinking the Rangers are probably going to have to retain on that $11.6 million cap hit. There's no way any team can pick that up unless you get unless if the Blackhawks, like they've always done, I want to play the middleman and retain some salary and just be like, hey, well,
Arizona no longer exists, so somebody's got to play the middleman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that could be a situation. I think that's a situation the Blackhawks should definitely take advantage of. They still have 2 retention spots. If you could get, I don't know, some scraps out of there and maybe move a guy that you don't have a long-term connection with, you make that 3-team deal and you intervene. So yeah, I think Panarin's going to get traded before the roster freeze. It's very clear that the Rangers have accepted the fact that they are actually in a rebuild, which is extremely interesting considering how they said they were going in the rebuild and then got Capo Caco and Lafreniere, and never mind.
Yeah, I don't know how Drury's surviving this one.
I think they're calling it a retool also.
Oh, boy.
Nobody says the word rebuild anymore because that's a dirty word.
Are they going to sell the farm? Like, I mean, is Lafreniere and all those guys going to go on the market? I don't know.
Lafreniere, I was actually listening to Daily Faceoff. They had old friend Johnny Lazarus on it. He talked about the possibility of Shane Wright, Alex Lafreniere swap 1-for-1 between Seattle and New York. Just giving me
I'd heard that Seattle was putting Shane Wright out there.
Yeah, they are.
Which it's kind of, I feel bad for him because I think Seattle did him dirty out there. Like the first year where you didn't know,
like really screwed it up.
Yeah. Ronnie Francis did a bad job there. And so I hope he gets a change of scenery someplace because he can score. When he gets on a heater, he can score. So hopefully he gets going someplace.
Kako just kind of is who he is.
Yeah. Kaká.
He is still Kaká. I mean, 36 games in Seattle, 5 goals, 14 assists, 19 points. I mean, I don't. It's not gaudy. Those aren't. Those certainly aren't second overall numbers. I don't know. He's an NHL player, but that's about it. So I don't know. Yeah, he might be a journeyman. Maybe he'll be one of those early draft picks that just gets traded everywhere.
And only stayed in the league because he was an early draft pick.
Yeah.
Because somebody thinks they're going to unlock him.
Yeah. Anything else going on in the Blackhawks world to touch base on? I mean, Jimmy, were you saying that Drew Comesso got knocked around, or is he injured?
Yeah, he got knocked around last night in the Milwaukee game. I haven't seen anything yet. I'm keeping an eye on the Ice Hogs official press release. They usually do a good job of letting us know, but nothing new. But speaking of Rockford, friend of the program, Dana Gray, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dana. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Dana. We got to have you on again.
Gotta have you on. Especially with the AHL All-Star festivities coming to...
Which they released the mock-up for the jerseys for that.
Oh, they were really nice.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, and cool. Hey, I'll be there covering it on behalf of the rink. That'll be very exciting.
That's awesome. Very exciting.
Former Blackhawks news. Former Blackhawk Patrick Kane tied Mike Modano last night.
It's about to happen. I really hope he does it with a goal.
Oh,
yeah.
Record. And I hope it's not an empty netter.
Yeah. Last night was a legit power play goal, so that was good.
Yeah, and it was a secondary assist. I want it to be just a nasty vintage Kane unreal goal.
Give us a breakaway. Just absolute dangle on the guy.
Yeah, and then do the heartbreaker. Just do the heartbreaker celebration.
Yeah. So I mean, when he breaks that record,
oh gosh,
you can say there's a very strong argument for best American-born hockey player of all time, Patrick Kane.
Yeah,
it's in. Yeah, I mean it's right there. I mean, he's the only American-born to win the Hart, or the first American-born to win the Hart?
No, didn't Brett Hull win that?
But he's not American-born.
He's not American-born. Right. He was born in Canada.
He's Canadian-born, chose to play for Team USA after being dissed by Team Canada for a Canada Cup.
I always forget that.
Yeah.
I don't think Modano.
Lane Hudson is thinking about pulling a Brett Hull,
Yeah, well, Lane Hudson's dad.
He's something else.
Yeah. Who else? Best American-born player of all time. Patrick Kane is right there. If someone said Patrick Kane, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know how I argue against that. Modano's name's still in there. I mean, Modano is elite. I still think Brian Leach is a candidate. I think
Brian Leach.
Chris Chelios is even. I mean,
yeah, Chelly.
Two Norrises.
Is Keith Tkachuk in there?
Keith Tkachuk, but I think I would put everyone I just mentioned.
Roenick.
I would also just put everyone I just mentioned ahead of Roenick.
What about LaFontaine?
He's awesome. I love Pat.
Ooh, this is gonna be an interesting one. His career's not over, far from it. But what about Austin Matthews?
He'll be in that
conversation.
His career's over. But Kane, Calder, Hart, Conn Smythe, Art Ross, 3 cups. I mean, it's right there, right? As of this moment, maybe.
Yeah. And
maybe Matthews eclipses that, but as of this moment,
World Junior silver, Olympic silver.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. But the thing is with Matthews too, like if he doesn't win a ring, how much are people going to hold that against him when comparing him to Kane? I know it's a team achievement, but still, I think people will hold that.
Oh yeah, people will definitely hold.
People are petty. I mean, just look at the NFL Hall of Fame induction.
And you can't say he was not involved in very good teams in his prime. Those Leaf teams were good.
They were good. They just couldn't get past the second round.
Shit their pants when the time was right, but they were pretty good. Sorry, that was bad. They played poorly when the time was right. But anyway, congrats, Patrick Kane. Almost congrats. Do they play tonight? Does Detroit play tonight?
No, Detroit played last night. They lost.
Fiddlesticks. All right.
They lost to I cannot remember, but they lost last night. One of my coworkers is a big Wings fan, so we'll always ask each other about who's doing what.
The Kings is who they lost to.
Oh, the Kings.
Got it. So wow. So, well, good stuff. Go Hawks. Hawks play tomorrow night.
Yep, the condensed. I'm of the mindset I like the condensed schedule.
This has been fun.
I loved the 2013 after the lockout when it was every other night, just a game. I love that. Like, I hate when it's like 5 days off in between games. It's just like, come on, I want to watch my boys play.
Yeah.
I find myself watching Montreal and Boston play, and I'm like, oh, why am I?
Well, that's a great game to watch, regardless.
That is a great game. Yeah.
It was, but it's just like,
some of those rivalries are great. All right. You ready for a trivia question?
yes.
Oh, I haven't heard one of these.
Ready.
I got one. So without looking, the first American, we mentioned 2 American hockey players. The first American-born hockey player to win the Conn Smythe Trophy was Brian Leetch in 1994. Patrick Kane won it in 2013. There are 2 other Americans.
Jonathan Quick, 2012.
Yep, and there's one more.
Oh, no, that was 2014. Jonathan Quick, 2014.
So we're looking for the Conn Smythe?
He was 2012. He was 2012.
Who was 2014?
Justin Williams.
Oh, it was Williams.
Justin Williams.
You are, Jimmy, you're right there. When you're ready for a hint, let me know.
American-born is it in that era then?
There were 3 American-born players to win it in a row.
Okay, so
okay.
Okay, so Quick is 12.
So it's 11, so it's a Boston Bruin.
And that was Tim was that Tim Thomas?
It was Tim Thomas from Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, Tim Thomas. And I contend, no discredit to Patrick Kane. He had an unreal 2013. Everyone wanted Corey Crawford to win it.
He should have won it.
Yeah,
but they had just had 2 goalies win it in a row, and I think the NHL was like, don't do another goalie.
Yeah. he was the best player in that tournament, though.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys ever play those NHL franchise mode? If you win a Stanley Cup, it's always going to be the goalie that wins the Conn Smythe. One time I won like 4 cups in a row. Legitimately, Corey Crawford won all 4 cups. Humble brag, on rookie mode.
Weird brag, bro. Yeah.
Like it's almost impossible to not have the goalie in that game, in those games, to win the Conn Smythe, because the game doesn't understand how to, like, whatever the like AI is to determine the Conn Smythe. It just, unless you get like 40 points from a skater, like they're just gonna hand it to the goaltender, because it's like, oh, they had 16 wins.
Yeah. Now to Patrick Kane's credit, in 2013 when he did win the Conn Smythe Trophy, they really didn't need Corey Crawford that much until the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah,
they were just rolling. Actually, well, in Detroit, the Detroit went 7 games. But you also have to consider Patrick Kane in games 4, 5, and 6 of that Boston series. They won all 3 of those when they were down 2-1. He was by far the best player on the ice.
Yeah,
I mean, he really did take over.
I mean, 28 points on 22 games is hard to argue.
I think he had 3 points.
Wrong.
They won 6-5 in overtime in game 4. I think he had 3 points. He had 2 goals in game 5 when they won 3-1 at home, which critical game 5. He had another point in the deciding game in game 6. I mean, he
did
do it.
He brought the puck in on the tying goal.
Yeah. Kane moves by a couple.
Yeah.
Stepped in and shot one, turned aside by Rath.
Yeah. And I believe if you have, which I do, the Stanley Cup Chicago Blackhawks like digital video of that season in the finals, Kane and Brad Marchand are talking trash, and he goes, "Don't wake the beast up." He goes, "You want to go?" He goes, "Don't wake me up because you're going to regret it."
Well,
and then he scored. He goes, "You woke me up."
He gets next to him in the face-off. He goes, "Should have kept your mouth shut."
Yeah.
Kept your mouth shut.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part, because I've seen that too, one of my favorite parts is, I can't remember if it was that series, but he was talking to someone else, and he's like, and they're like, "Oh, you want to go?" As in like fighting. He goes, "I don't want to go. I'm much more valuable on the ice than you are."
It was Marchand. And he goes, Marchand goes, "Anytime." He goes, "Anytime?" Kind of seems like a bad trade-off.
Yeah. I think he said, like, "I think you're more valuable in the penalty box to your team than you are on the ice. Are you doing your team a favor?"
My favorite moment of the entire series is when Milan Lucic broke his stick over the net when they scored the empty netter in Game 5.
Oh yeah, because Bolin just dropped Krug he tripped the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely
The
did.
Blackhawks got an empty netter,
And then Lucic
lost it,
smashed the stick on the net. And
Yeah.
and Lucic is just a bad guy to begin with. He's a bad guy. And so it was even sweeter that a bad guy had a bad moment. So
It's kind of crazy
All right.
looking back on Kane winning that Conn Smythe, because if you look at the other Stanley Cup years, he had more points in 2010 and 2015 playoffs than he did in 2013.
Yeah, but Johnny was unreal in 10. I mean,
Oh my God, he
Johnny
was.
was unreal. Yeah.
He was unreal. And Duncan
Keith was unreal in 15.
that was silly.
Keith was disgusting.
That was absurd. All right, Hawk fans, we will be back next week. Good luck to the Hawks tomorrow night. Good stuff tonight, gentlemen. Fit in a lot tonight again. Keep listening, folks. Brad, thank you so much for your question. I actually want to give a quick shout out, if it's okay, to my daughter Bailey, who is a rabid Blackhawks fan. Absolutely adores the Blackhawks. In a thrilling Brooks School JV girls hockey contest against the Groton School, they tied 9-9. And Bailey, my daughter Bailey, she got her first goal, which is awesome. And if you've ever watched a girls junior varsity hockey game at Brooks School, it is it's wonderful. It's just for the love of the game, and lots of screaming and lots of bad passes and lots of falling down and laughing, but it's what it's all about. Bay, proud of you. That's fun. So congrats on that.
And don't forget to read Andy Campbell's article on the Hawks needing another defenseman, and the Gatekeepers, Puck and Hostels article on the goaltending situations. 2 great articles put out by the Rink. So make sure to check those out.
Thanks, Shawnee. And Jimmy is going to cover the AHL All-Star Game. Everyone get ready for that. It is going to be very special. Very excited for that, Jimmy. Cool. All righty. Well, have a good night, everybody. Until next time, Andy Campbell, Sean Fitzgerald, Jimmy O'Malley. We'll see you all later. Bye.